This is so wrong. This is just wrong. Hey artists and art lovers, it's Allison and I am here doing another Artist Couch video. Today I want to talk about the biggest misconception about doing art, the biggest mistake, folly, the biggest misconception, and that I just really want people to stop thinking. And as I'm here on my couch, the Artist Couch, championing the truth, I have my sketchbook with me. And it has a sketch in it, as they do, and I'm just going to be adding ink to it today, finalizing it and deciding if I want to keep it as it is or make it bigger, maybe clean it up a little bit. I mean, sometimes when I add ink to them they don't turn out quite right, but it's the first step to a really good drawing. Okay, the pen is uncapped. All right, let me reposition my sketchbook so you can kind of see what I'm doing, but like I said, I'm just going over top of it, so that's not the focus point. What we're here to talk about today is what I think is one of the biggest misconceptions about art, and it is that I always forget how hard it is to do this while I'm drawing. Okay, the biggest thing is that people always seem to think that you have to be really good at art to enjoy it or get anything out of it. This is so wrong. This is just wrong. This comes from a bunch of different mentalities. One of them being I live in America and the culture here is very much if you're doing something, it should lead to some sort of financial gain, or it should be productive in some way. You should be able to say at the end of the day, look what I did, this is valuable, and it should be validated by an audience of some sort. So people think oh, if I'm just drawing or painting and I'm not posting it on Instagram and getting likes, or I'm not making money off of it, then it's a waste of time. And that is just completely wrong, because first of all, there is, in my opinion, there's not really a good or bad at art. Art is just if it means something to you or not, and that's just to you. So you could draw something, I could draw something, and it means so much to me, it means the world to me, and I love it, and maybe a few other people love it, but most people are I don't get this means nothing to me. That doesn't mean that it's bad, because it meant something to me and I got value out of making it. There's tons of work in museums that I look at and I'm just what is this? I'm not a fan. And that doesn't mean it's bad, because whoever made it got something out of it, and then other people also were yeah, I get it. But even if no one else liked it, if just that person liked it, yeah, it probably wouldn't be in a museum, but it would still be a worthy use of their time because it made them feel good. So I hate to hear people say, and not hate I get angry at them, but I just it makes me sad when I hear people say oh, I used to draw a lot, but I just was never very good at it, so I just don't really do it anymore. If you were drawing a lot, that means you enjoyed it in some capacity and you were having fun doing it. And the fact that you stopped just because you felt it wasn't good enough to show off, that makes me sad. I feel you like doing it, you should do it. I mean, and I feel art is really one of the only kind of pastimes that we put that pressure on ourselves. There's plenty of video games that are really hard, and most people never beat, or they don't no, my point is that the only people playing video games are not professional gamers. The only people playing sports are not professional athletes, and the only people watching movies are not film critics. We do all these things and we don't worry about whether we're the best at it, or whether we can do it in front of people and get an audience, or get a applause, or get likes or whatever. It's art is one of the only things that we establish this what is the word I'm trying to say? we establish this barrier, like, oh, I can't do that because I'm not that good at it. Everyone kind of loses, because it might be like, maybe you're not good at it now, but if you just keep doing it because you like it, you might find that you are like pretty good at it. Like maybe you find a way of doing it that you've never seen someone do before, and you're like, oh, I actually think this looks really cool. Like I drew all the time as a kid, and it's not like I was really good at it when I was like 4 or 5. Like nobody, well, maybe not nobody, I'm sure maybe there's someone who's just like a genius at drawing, but like I feel like most of us, when we're 4 and we're drawing, it kind of looks the same. It looks kind of crazy, and our parents, like, they're just like, yeah, this is great, and they just put it on the fridge, and then they maybe throw it away when they think we're not looking, you know. But like I feel like we all would continue and like continue to enjoy it if at some point we didn't hear something that made us feel like we shouldn't have. I'm all over the place, but it kind of brings me to, I guess, another source of that thinking besides like the idea that we have to do it to feel productive. I think the other reason people might stop doing art because they feel like they're not, like they have to be good at it, is because of the way our society treats art. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that art isn't given like the same focus in schools. Like we're taught art as though it's like there's a right and wrong way to do it, and we're taught about art as like something that you can be good at or bad at. But I don't feel like there's enough classes in schools, especially for younger kids, teaching art not as like a skill to learn, but as like a practice, like a way to feel good. Art goes hand in hand with like self-care and feeling good and like wellness and all those like big buzzwords. And if you're just thinking, like, I don't feel like there's enough classes that are teaching it as a tool to feel better. I feel like it's only approached as like, this is something that you can be good at, and if you're really good at it, you can go to school for it, and if you do really well there, you can be an art teacher or an artist, or you can be in museums, or you can be an art director. It like always comes back to like, how can you make this thing your career? And then if you can't make it a career, why are you even doing it? What a waste of time. Be a scientist, or not even be a scientist, be an accountant. No shade to accountants. We need them. Even like me, people would always be like, oh, you're so good at drawing. Like they would be like, so what are you gonna do with that? And it's like, well, I don't know. I never thought about what I want to do with it. I just like doing it. And then they'd be like, well, maybe you should really think about this. And it's kind of weird. And I did go to art school, but I don't know if I feel like I should have. Like, I don't know that the things I learned about art were things that I needed to go to art school to learn. I'm sure it helped because I learned it all in like one time instead of organically throughout life. I just kind of learned it in this condensed time period, but I still left with like a lot left to learn. And you know, that's just like my own experience. I'm sure there's a lot of people who went and it really shaped them as an artist or whatever, but like my whole point is that art, while it is like something that I think we should be taught about, it's really great to know those techniques, and it's really good to know about the history of it and how it's shaped our culture, and it's really good to know about like why the things that we considered good, we consider good, and why the things we consider bad, we consider bad. But I think that should be separate from the actual practice that is art and how beneficial it is to everyone. So my point in all of this is that if you find yourself thinking like, oh, I really like drawing, but I'm not that good at it, and then you do something else, like, no. You can still like it and you can still do it, and it doesn't matter if like when you're done you're like, I don't want to put this on Instagram or whatever. Like you should still just do it because it's so good for you. It's so much fun. And it doesn't even have to be anything. I think a lot of people feel like when they sit down to draw something, they have to have an idea, and when they can't think of anything, that kind of contributes to the feeling that they're not good at it. I'm trying to do air quotes, but I have this pen. There are so many times where I sit down and I just want to draw, and I don't know what I want to draw, and I like don't even necessarily want to draw anything. I just want to experience the act of like putting pen to paper. Oh, like this one actually. Like it's just a bunch of lines, and like there was oh my god. Okay, yeah, so it was just a bunch of lines, and I doodled like a face, and it was like really ugly, and I ended up erasing it, but that's beside the point. Like, I just wanted to draw something, and I just kind of let like stream of consciousness take over. Like, I wasn't worried about like if it would look good or if I would like share it with anyone. I just wanted to doodle, and I had fun with like just lines, like it's just lines. And it was so much fun to do. And if I remember that day correctly, I was just like, I had a lot on my mind. Gotta get back in position. I felt very frazzled, and I just wanted to do a doodle because that's kind of what calms me down and makes me like, helps me focus, clears my mind. And I know that drawing isn't like that for everyone, but I imagine that if you are saying like, if you're feeling like you like to draw, or you used to like to draw and you don't anymore, like you liked it because it made you feel good, and you're still thinking about it because you're remembering those times. And I think that feeling like you're not as good as someone else shouldn't stop you from doing it. It's kind of like you could keep it the same way people keep journals. Like you write in it, and it's private, and it's just for you, and you put it away, and people don't go through it when you come over, and if they do, you can be like, what are you doing? And then you know that that person's weird. And I say drawing because that's what I do, but it could be like painting or photography. Like it could be any medium, like whatever artistic like interest you have, you should just pursue it, whether or not you think it's gonna be, whether or not you think you're gonna be like the next Picasso. Well, the video is done. That's like everything I wanted to say. I hope it made sense. It's just pretty stream of consciousness, but I don't know, it's something I was thinking about a lot, and then it came up again in a conversation today, and I was like, I really want to like make this video while it's fresh on my mind. So I'll give you also like a little update here. It's not done. I think even if I wasn't trying to talk to you guys while doing this, I still would need a little more time. The background is definitely going to be where I'll spend a lot more time, because I wanted to have that like Rocky Mountain texture, and I always kind of need a reference when I'm drawing that, because in my head, I'm not great at drawing from my head, but I still do it. That's where a lot of these sketches come from, is me drawing from my head and it turning out weird. Like, look at this one. I mean, like, it's cute. If it would focus. It's cute, but it didn't look as well as, like, it didn't look the way I, like, wanted it to look. But it's still, like, fine, and I still had a really good time making it. And the next time I try something like this, I'll know what worked and what didn't work. So, yeah. Sorry, I know I said I was gonna end the video, and then I kept going. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I am gonna finish this drawing, and I'll post it whenever it's done. And I probably will do a bigger one too, because I like the way it looks so far. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like the Artist Couch videos, because I like doing them. And I will talk to you guys later.